everybody? This is Josh. This is my first video ever. I've never done anything like this, so I'm just gonna wing it. I'm gonna do the best I can to provide some good training content for you guys. I don't really have any training content right now since my first video. I meant to record Friday's session, but when I got started trading, I was like, oh, I forgot to hit the recording button. So that was a mistake on my part. So whenever Monday comes around, we're definitely going to have some more training. I'm definitely going to be putting some training content out here for you guys. But I thought this video would just be good just to kind of give you a background of myself and why I got into trading. 2 weeks after I graduated high school, I went in the military. I was in the Marine Corps, did 4 years, got out, went to college, eventually had a part-time job while I was in college as a plumbing apprentice. And, you know, the money, the tradesman skill eventually just got to me, so I ended up dropping out of school. I became a plumber. Did that for 5 years. Right after that, I had some old military friends that essentially talked me into going to tower climbing school. So I did that. Got out of the plumbing business, of my plumbing career, and I went into the tower climbing industry, which was crazy because I've always been afraid of heights. Never really thought I would do something like that, but I loved it, and I had a good group of guys I was working with who was just traveling, just working on cell towers. Awesome job. But, you know, with everything, there's always a con, for the most part. And it was a traveling, you know. I have children, so, you know, not being able to see, well, at the time I only had one, so not being able to see my daughter was pretty hard for me. So I got out, and then I got a 9-to-5 job, essentially, and I was working that job. And then that's whenever I got into trading, because I was watching the owner, I was seeing the people that he was associating with, and I was on social media a lot. I saw what people were doing out there in the world, and it got to me. Whether it was fake or not, it got to me. So I started looking for other opportunities to make money and to just change the trajectory in life to something that, you know, I'm proud of. And I'm not saying that you can't be proud in those jobs. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, just like me personally, you know, I felt kind of stuck. I've changed career paths a few times now. And then, you know, eventually whenever I left the tower industry, was a job that I loved, I kind of felt lost in a way. And whenever I was in that 9-to-5 job, I was like, I kept asking myself, like, where am I going? What am I doing? You know, am I just going to be here and get promoted and get more paid? But it's like, I'm never going to get to that level that I really want to get to, that I can get to, you know. And that's something that people don't really realize. It's like you don't have to, but you can if you really want to, and like you should try to pursue that. And so, you know, I've always kind of had that entrepreneurial mindset, especially after the military, but I never really pursued it just because, you know, the people I associated myself with, you know, they never really try to get outside of their comfort zone. And so it kind of put a constraint on me in a way. So while I was working at that 9-to-5 job, I essentially started trading, or looking for opportunities, and I found trading. I opened up a Webull account because I saw an ad for it. Thought I was going to be trading. I really know what I was doing, you know, because we open a Webull account, it's just stocks, right? Well, at the time it was. And then, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I put some money in it. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So, you know, I eventually found options, and then I started actually getting into the options game. And like everyone, when they first start, I made money. I knew what options were. I had did my research. I have read books and watched videos, and I watch other people trade. And even though I was hitting the button, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I knew the concept of options. I knew how to get in to a call or to a put, but I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. I had no, you know, I had purchased this trading course, and it taught me about candlesticks and candlestick patterns and candlestick analysis and chart patterns and etc. Trend lines, taught me about volume, VWAP, and everything. But it never really. I don't think it really taught me a skill. I just think it just taught me just the basics and the fundamentals of trading. So eventually, after I had blown that account because I made some money on it, and then I eventually blew the account. I did some more research, and I was like, man, I made money on this with options, but I don't really want to do options, right? Or like, what else is out there? And that's when I learned about prop firms. So, opened up a prop firm account with TopStep. They were the first ones that really just popped up, so I just went with them, and I did my due diligence and looked at their reviews, and it looked like they'd been around for a long time, so that's why I got an account with them. Looked pretty trustworthy. Had an actual website that actually looked decent, and I think also why I got with TopStep was because I was listening to a podcast, and I think one of the gentlemen who works with TopStep was on that podcast, and they were promoting it in a way. They were promoting their prop firm. So I think that's why I think that's how I actually ended up on TopStep. But opened up an account, and I put money into that account, blowing accounts, hopping from strategy to strategy, doing the same stuff that every other new trader does. Winning money, losing a lot more, winning money, losing a lot more. Never really, you might pass your combine like once, you feel great, you get into the second phase of the express account on TopStep, and then you essentially just blow that the first day, or you just make little bits of money. So, and then eventually until you just full port something and then lose the account. I mean, every single bad habit that a new trader has is what I was doing. I was essentially that stereotypical new trader, and my emotions was not there, my risk management was not there, my discipline was not there, my strategy was not there. I didn't even know what I was doing. And I'm not saying that I wasn't studying, because I was studying. I think within the almost 5 years that I've been doing this, I have put in hundreds of hours into the charts. I mean, even when I was losing money, I would wake up, look at the charts, go to sleep looking at the charts, be up all till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning looking at charts. So it's not that I wasn't doing my research and my studying. It's just I just wasn't incorporating the good trading habits that fundamentally run alongside that. So that's why I got into the situation I did with how much money I blew in prop firm accounts. Probably within the last 8 months, I think I've been consistently profitable. I believe that I have failed so much and put so much money into prop firms that I think I've kind of went over that hump. Not saying I don't make mistakes, but I think that I've got to that next level. Wherever that level is, I got to the next level. I've became consistently profitable, and I'm not gonna lie, I am an aggressive trader. I'm just an aggressive trader. I do trade on the MNQ. I like trading micros, and that way I can have more control of my stop loss. And I understand the commissions. I understand, but whenever I get in that trade, once I feel like that trade is going to do what it's going to do, I mean, I'm just adding. I'm just doing whatever I can to get as much as I can, but with risking as little as I can. But I'm adding so much to where it's actually going to be a great trade if it works out. So, and that's what I've been doing, and I've been consistently profitable. I believe I have a really good strategy. I essentially use support and resistance. That's all I do. And I think after I've been trading for this long and I've studied a lot of strategies out there. I mean, I've studied Orb, ICT. I mean, I watched almost all of his videos, and trend lines. I've tried reversal. I've tried just trading on big momentum candles. I mean, I've tried so many different strategies, and eventually, after you lose so much, you just start to look at the market different. I think you start to mature into the market. I think if you do the right steps and you fail the right way, I do believe that you start to look at the market different. And I believe I have got to that point. I'm not saying I'm perfect or I'm, the best. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I have done my due diligence and failed enough times and failed the right way enough times that I've now become consistently profitable. So as I start to put more content out there, show my trades, show my strategy, I really hope that it starts to help other traders out there. And especially, I do want to give a shout out to all the older traders out there, all the people that maybe didn't necessarily make the right decisions or make the decisions that they wanted to as they were getting older. Now you're a little bit older, you've found prop firms, you've found trading, and you really want to change your trajectory of life. You want to change your family trajectory. You want to change your kids' trajectory. And I feel like trading can do that. And, I am 32. I'll be 33 in just a few months. So I really hope that those older traders out there can really kind of resonate with what I'm talking about. I know whenever I look on social media, it just seems like a whole bunch of young traders out there. I'm like, okay, it just seems. I know that there's older traders out there, and but it just when it comes to like that prop firm and that new trader space, it just seems like there's it's just gaining so much traction on the younger side, and the older side is either they don't believe it, they don't want to believe it, they already have a career. They don't really necessarily want to put that money up for it. They just kind of got until they're set in their ways. And there are older traders out there that are really trying to change their lives with trading. So if you are, I hope I resonate with you. I hope that you do subscribe to this channel. I really want to help people. I'm not flashy. I got kids, man. I got, I got a beautiful support system, and you're not going to see lots of flash over here. Just very normal older person just trying to make it, man. Just trying to change their lives. So, I believe that's all I have for this video. And Monday, you will be seeing a new video out, and it's going to be in my trading session on the NQ. Whether I win some or lose some, we're going to go ahead and get started on this, and I hope someone learned something. So, peace out.